Mom said. This vacation is only for family, without you. So I laughed and said okay. A month later, when they had a problem and came to beg me, I laughed, and then, this vacation is just for the family, without you. I laughed. Not even out of anger, just out of pure amusement. Got it, Mom, have fun. She didn't blink. Didn't hesitate. Just looked at me as if I were a stranger who happened to sit at her table. I used to be close to my family. The responsible one. The successful one. The one they bragged about to friends and family. But that was before Olivia and Mark. You see, last year I bought a new apartment as an investment. It was in a great location, perfect for renting. About the same time, my sister Olivia and her husband Mark got into financial trouble. My parents were worried, Olivia was stressed, and the blame game was relentless. They have a child, Kelvin. Just let them stay a while, my mother pleaded. Family helps family. So I did. I let them stay there for free, no rent, no bills, nothing. Just until they got back on their feet. 3 months. That was the deal. 3 months went by, then 4, then 5. Every time I brought it up, they had an excuse. Mark was still looking for steady work. Daycare was expensive. They just needed more time. By the 6th month, I had had enough. I told them it was time to leave. I gave them 2 more weeks to find something else. When that time was up, I told them I was going to change the locks. That's when all hell broke loose. Mom called me selfish. My dad said I was acting like a heartless landlord. Olivia cried. Mark acted like I was throwing my own nephew out on the street. Suddenly, I wasn't the generous brother who gave them half a year of free housing. I was the bad guy who said enough is enough. After that, I became an outsider. Family group chats went silent when I messaged. I wasn't invited to Sunday dinners. And when they planned a big family vacation, they didn't even pretend to include me. Mom looked me right in the eye and said, "This vacation is just for the family, without you." That's when I realized I was no longer part of their family. So they left. And I moved on with my life. Then, exactly a month later, my phone rang. First my mom. Then my dad. Then Olivia. Over and over, back to back. I ignored the first few calls, thinking it was a mistake. Then I saw a text message from Olivia. "Kelvin, please pick up. We need your help." I stared at the screen, debating whether to answer. Before I could decide, there was a knock on my door. When I opened it, my father was standing there, looking more exhausted than I'd ever seen him. His face was pale, his shirt rumpled. Mom was behind him, clutching her purse like it was the only thing keeping her upright. Olivia stood off to the side, holding her son close. She looked as if she hadn't slept in days. Dad exhaled sharply. "Kelvin, we need your help." I let out a short laugh and shook my head. "Of course you do." And that was only the beginning. I didn't step aside. I just stood there, watching them shift uncomfortably on my doorstep. A month ago, I wasn't family enough to go on vacation with them. Now they were on my doorstep, looking like they had seen a ghost. "What happened?" I asked, arms crossed. Mom opened her mouth, but Olivia beat her to it. "We lost everything." I raised an eyebrow. "Everything?" Dad sighed. "There was a fire." That got my attention. Turns out, while they were on vacation, a faulty cable in Olivia and Mark's rental house sparked a fire. The whole place went up in flames. They weren't home at the time, but when they returned, there was nothing left. Clothes, furniture, passports gone. To make matters worse, their renter's insurance had expired the month before, and they never renewed it. "So," I said slowly, "you're homeless?" Dad winced, but Olivia nodded. "We've been staying in a motel, but it's too expensive. We need a place. Just for a little while." I almost laughed again. I mean, the irony was unbelievable. A few weeks ago, I wasn't even good enough to be invited to dinner. Now they wanted a roof over their heads. Mark wasn't here, I realized. "Where's your husband?" I asked Olivia. Her face darkened. Gone. He left. I blinked. What do you mean, left? After the fire, he couldn't take it. He said he needed space. He packed a bag and took off. I haven't heard from him in a week. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I looked at my parents. And your house? Mom's face tightened. The basement flooded while we were away. A pipe burst. We came home to water everywhere, mold damage. The insurance is taking weeks to process. We can't live there now. Jesus. A fire, a flood, and a missing husband? It was starting to sound biblical. Dad sighed. Kelvin, we have nowhere else to go. I leaned against the doorframe. A month ago, I wouldn't have even considered it. But looking at them now, tired, desperate, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Power. For once, I was the one holding the cards. I let them stand there for a long moment before I finally spoke. All right. You can stay. Mom exhaled in relief. Olivia looked like she was going to cry. But, I continued, there are rules. Their faces fell. You get 1 month. No more extensions. And you follow my house rules. Don't like them? Find somewhere else. They all nodded, too exhausted to argue. I stepped aside. Welcome home. As they walked in, I had no idea that this was only the beginning of the chaos. At first, they were on their best behavior. Quiet. Polite. Almost too grateful. Olivia kept saying, Thank you, Kelvin, I swear, just 1 month. Dad even tried to make small talk over coffee as if nothing had happened. But I knew better. The cracks started to show on the 3rd day. It was small things at first. Dirty dishes left in the sink. Olivia using my expensive shampoo like it was a free hotel sample. Mom rearranging my kitchen because she couldn't find anything. At the end of the first week, I walked into my own living room and stopped dead. My couch was gone. In its place was her old, sagging couch, the one they had somehow rescued from storage. The same couch I hated sitting on as a kid because it smelled like dust and regret. I turned to Olivia, who was folding my laundry. Where the hell is my couch? She barely looked up. Oh, Dad and I moved it into the garage. Ours is more comfortable. I stared at her. More comfortable? For who? She finally looked up, blinking like I was the one being unreasonable. Well, for us. I rubbed my temples. You're staying here for a month. Why are you acting like you own the place? She sighed and laid down a shirt. Kelvin, we're just trying to make it feel a little more like home. Right, except it's not your home. It's mine. Mom poked her head in. Oh, honey, don't make a big deal out of it. I ignored her. Where is my couch? Dad just walked in, wiping his hands on a rag. Relax, it's in the garage. We didn't throw it out. I stormed into the garage, and sure enough, there was my couch, awkwardly shoved next to storage bins and a lawn mower. That night, for the first time ever, I locked my bedroom door. Then things got worse. One night, around midnight, I heard voices in the kitchen. I got up, groggy, and found my dad and Olivia whispering in the corner. They stopped when they saw me. Is something wrong? I asked. Dad forced a smile. Just talking. I noticed that Olivia was holding my car keys. I blinked. Why do you have my keys? She hesitated. Look, I was going to ask you, but I didn't want to wake you. Ask me what? She exhaled. If I could borrow your car. I stared at her. For what? She hesitated again. Then I knew she was lying. To pick up some stuff from storage. Something wasn't right. At midnight? She clutched the keys. Kelvin, I didn't think you'd mind. Give me my keys. She sighed dramatically and handed them over. I went back to my room, locked the door, and something told me to check the glove compartment in the morning. When I did, my spare credit card was gone. I checked my account. $200 had been spent at a gas station a few hours earlier. I marched back inside, furious. Olivia. She was sitting on the couch, the wrong couch, eating my cereal. I held up my phone. Did you take my credit card? She went pale for half a second. Then she rolled her eyes. Oh my God, Kelvin, I was going to tell you. I almost laughed. Were you? Before or after I noticed? She crossed her arms. I just needed gas, okay? I'll pay you back. Like you paid back the rent? That hit home, because she didn't have a comeback. Mom came in and saw my face. What's going on? Olivia stole my credit card, I said flatly. It was one time. Olivia snapped. Mom clicked her tongue. Oh, Kelvin, don't make a big deal out of this. I glared at her. She stole from me. And you're okay with that? She's your sister. It's just gas money. Unbelievable. I looked at Olivia. Pack your stuff. You're done. Her eyes widened. Kelvin dash. No. I was willing to help, but you think you can steal from me and get away with it? I looked at Mom and Dad. And you? Are you okay with this? They looked at each other in silence. All right, I said, grabbing my keys. If she's not gone by tonight, you're all gone. I meant it. What I didn't know was that Olivia had one last trick up her sleeve, and I was about to regret ever letting her in. I left the house to cool off, because if I stayed any longer, I was going to say something I couldn't take back. I drove around for an hour, drank coffee, and debated whether I really wanted to kick my whole family out tonight. But when I pulled back into my driveway, something felt wrong. The front door was wide open. I rushed inside, my heart pounding. Hello? Silence. I checked the living room. The fake couch was still there. Olivia's suitcase was in the hall, untouched. Then I heard it. A noise from my office. I rushed down the hall and froze. Olivia was at my desk, going through my drawers. She jumped when she saw me. Kelvin! I looked at the mess. Papers everywhere. My locked file cabinet forced open. I clenched my jaw. What the hell are you doing? She held up her hands. Kelvin, I can explain. I stepped closer, my eyes scanning the mess. My financial records. My investment records. My bank statements. Cold realization hit me. Are you looking for my bank information? She stammered. No. Well, yes, but it's not what you think. I grabbed one of the papers. Then what is it? She swallowed hard. I needed to see if you had any extra money. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Extra money? For what? She took a deep breath. Kelvin, listen, the motel is too expensive, and we don't have a safety net. You have so much. I thought maybe if I just dash. I stepped back. Oh my God! You were trying to steal from me. She flinched. It's not stealing. I was just going to transfer a little, and I would have paid you back dash. I laughed. Oh, so first it's my apartment, then my car, now my bank account? What's next, Olivia? My whole life. She opened her mouth, but I wasn't finished. You lied. Again. You stole from me, and now you're literally trying to take my money behind my back? You're disgusting. Her face crumpled. Kelvin, please. No. You're done. I turned to leave. Get out of my house. Then she said it. If I go, Mom and Dad go. I stopped. I turned. Excuse me? She straightened, her expression changing. They can't afford a motel. If I leave, they leave. Are you really going to kick our parents out too? I stared at her, my own sister using our parents as a human shield. I clenched my fists. I don't owe you anything, Olivia. Not after this. She scoffed. You're seriously going to kick our mother out? She carried you for 9 months and this is how you repay her? I almost laughed. Mom was fine kicking me out of a family vacation. She was fine with you stealing from me. So yeah, if she wants to go with you, she can go. I turned and walked into the living room where Mom and Dad were standing. They had definitely heard everything. Mom's lips were tight. Kelvin, honey, let's not be too hasty, Dash. Are you kidding me? Mom, she literally tried to rob me. She sighed. She's desperate. You don't understand how hard it is for her, Dash. I shook my head. Wow. So you're really on her side. Dad hadn't said a word. He just stood there, looking tired. I took a deep breath. Both of you. I need to know right now. Are you staying with her? Or are you staying with me? Mom hesitated. Dad ran his hand over his face. Kelvin, let's just Dash. No. Answer me. Are you on her side or mine? The silence was deafening. Then Mom spoke. She's family. We don't leave family. I exhaled slowly. Then I nodded. Okay. Then you all need to leave. Dad's head snapped up. Kelvin, Dash. No. I let you in. I gave you a chance. And this is what you do? I shook my head. We're done. Olivia's face twisted. You're making a mistake. I opened the front door. No, Olivia. You did. And just like that, I kicked my entire family out. Or at least I thought I had. Because the next day I found out what Olivia did after she left. The next morning I checked my bank account, more out of habit than suspicion. But when I saw the missing $3,000, my stomach sank. I clicked on the transaction details. It had been transferred to Olivia's account late the previous night. I sprinted to my office and opened my laptop. My online banking was still logged on. She must have done it before I caught her rifling through my drawers. That thieving lying? I picked up my phone and called Olivia. No answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. I wasn't playing games anymore. I dialed 911. Yes, I want to report a theft. My sister stole money from my bank account. The cops showed up at Olivia's motel half an hour later. I pulled up right behind her, still seething with anger. She opened the door, her eyes widening when she saw the officers. Her son was standing behind her, clutching a toy car. One of the officers, a middle-aged man with a bored expression, cleared his throat. Ma'am, we have a report that you took money from your brother's account without permission. Olivia immediately turned on the waterworks. Oh my God, are you serious? She looked at me. Kelvin, what is wrong with you? I stepped forward. Don't even start. You literally stole from me. She scoffed. I didn't. I pulled out my phone and showed her the transaction. $3,000. Sent from my account to hers. I didn't send it. You do the math. An officer nodded. Ma'am, do you have anything to say about this? Olivia's face twisted. Then she let out a laugh. Oh, come on. It was a joke. I blinked. A joke? She crossed her arms. Yeah, I was going to send it back. I was just messing with him and he called the cops. I was so angry I could barely speak. That's your excuse? It was a joke? One of the cops turned to her. You realize this is a crime, right? She sighed dramatically. I've already literally sent him back. Check his account. I updated my banking application. Sure enough, the $3,000 was back. I clenched my jaw. That doesn't change the fact that she stole it in the first place. The cops exchanged glances. I looked at them, really looked at them, and a bad feeling crept up my spine. You're taking her to the station, right? The bored cop scratched his head. Look, man, she's a new mother. It was a stupid mistake. She gave it back. Let's not make this any bigger than it needs to be. My jaw almost dropped. You're kidding. The other officer shrugged. I'm not saying it's right, but you got your money back. No harm, no foul. I almost laughed. So if I steal $3,000 but give it back after I get caught, that's okay? They didn't answer. I pointed at Olivia, who was now standing smugly with her arms crossed. If this was me stealing from her, would you say the same thing? Either of them met my eyes. I took a deep breath. Unbelievable. I turned to Olivia. You're pathetic. She just smiled sweetly. Thanks for stopping by, big brother. I wanted to scream. Instead, I turned to the police. Thanks for nothing. Then I got in my car and drove away. That night, after the cops let Olivia off the hook, I made a decision. I was done. No more helping. No more favors. No more being her backup plan. I blocked Olivia's number first. Then Mom's. Then Dad's. I even deleted the family group chat altogether. If they wanted me out of their lives, I'd make it easy. And for the first time in years, my life felt calm. No sudden phone calls begging for money. No guilt trips. No Olivia sneaking around trying to take what wasn't hers. I could finally breathe. And then what? I decided to do something for myself. A month later, I booked a trip to Hawaii. 5-star resort, ocean view, private excursions, the whole damn luxury experience. But instead of inviting my parents or Olivia, I invited my cousins Matt, Rachel, and Jake. The side of the family that really appreciated me. We spent a week surfing, drinking cocktails by the pool, and laughing until our stomachs hurt. And of course, I made sure to document it all. But just when I thought I was over the whole situation, I had a little idea. Just a tiny, little idea. I pulled out my phone, opened the old family group chat, the one where they had been ignoring me for months, and sent a photo of me on the beach, holding a cocktail, wearing sunglasses, grinning from ear to ear. Having a great time in Hawaii. Hope everyone is doing well. Palm tree tropical drink. I hit send and tossed my phone aside. 5 minutes later, it started exploding. Mom. Really, Kelvin? Olivia. Are you serious? Dad. Have fun. I smiled, stretched out in my lounge chair, and sent another picture. This time it was me and my cousins at a fancy restaurant by the ocean, raising our glasses. Cheers to family. Bottle with popping cork. I refreshed the chat. No response. I checked again an hour later. Mom and Olivia had both blocked me. I laughed so hard I almost fell out of my chair. Jake, my cousin, leaned over. What's so funny? Nothing, I said with a grin. Just the last word. And I didn't think about her for the rest of the trip. When I got home, I didn't unblock her. I didn't reach out. And you know what? They never did either. It turns out that when you stop being useful to people who only take, they disappear. And honestly, I've never been happier.